We should start off by saying we don't know whether any patients from Texas actually wound up in our state at Seattle Children's. The demand itself, at least in the court filing that we're reporting on here, attorneys from Seattle Children's argue that this is an attempt to chill anybody who would try to cross state lines to get medical care. Today, I had a chance to speak with the state legislator who quite literally wrote the law meant to stop this exact type of situation. It's the legal fight abortion advocates knew would come. The Texas AG's office demanding a bevy of documentation from Seattle Children's Hospital. Included in those demands, documentation of medications prescribed to children who live in Texas and traveled to our state for gender-affirming care. Records to ID the number of patients, doctors tied to those patients, prescriptions, lab tests, and more.
Texas can do whatever it wants in Texas courts with Texas law for people residing in Texas, but it absolutely cannot reach into Washington state and try to harass people in Washington state by trying to apply its laws here when it really has no basis for doing that.
Washington State Senator Drew Hansen is the legislator that introduced the SHIELD Act, the piece of legislation in our state meant to block this exact type of request for personal documentation.
There's an old saying, don't mess with Texas. There's a less well-known saying, don't mess with Washington state. We're not interested in having them enforce their laws on our people.
You say no!
Following the overturning of Roe v. Wade last year, we saw a flurry of activity. First, protests and vigils, a mourning period, if you will. But as all of that was playing out, Hansen said his team was already creating the foundation of the SHIELD Act, which would eventually become law. But the real question is, how will it play out inside courtrooms around the country? Seattle children's doctors weighing in, saying in this legal filing, quote, the demands represent an unconstitutional attempt to investigate and chill potential interstate commerce and travel for Texas residents seeking care in another state. This is a developing story, so I have reached out to the Texas AG's office, but so far we haven't heard back. What we do know is that this lawsuit is based on what's known as the Texas Deceptive Trade Practices Act. It would appear the AG over in Texas is making a claim that there was some type of misrepresentation tied to, in their words, gender transitioning and reassignment treatments. Of course, we'll continue to track this story and what it means for our state and really anyone looking to get medical care in Washington moving forward. In the newsroom, Matthew Smith, Fox 13 News.